The way that JJ and I met was that he and I both, as kids, made 8mm films, and there was a public access station, and they were showing these 8mm films, and I made 8mm films, so of course I wanted to watch. And they were showing all of these horror films that this guy was making, and at the end they interviewed him, and my only thought was, I gotta get my movies on this, what is this show? And it turned out to be JJ who was being interviewed, and the guy who put the show together, he put my films on, and then he said, well, you should meet JJ. And so we met, and we became fast friends, and we started making movies together, and we just have stayed friends through the years and sort of become creative confidants. Like whenever he would write a script in college, he would send it to me, and I would show him the films that I was making in film school, and we just were always friends. And then we started working together when we both started working in the industry, and JJ actually was one of the producers on the first film that I did, and we created Felicity together, and so we've worked together a lot. The exciting thing here was to figure out a way to sort of do this grand-scale monster movie, this huge crisis, but have it be made in a way where basically people watching the film could have the feeling that they could have made it had they been in exactly that same spot. The first 20 minutes is essentially this camera passing hands and ending up finally in this going away party, and you realize that what they're doing is they're documenting an event in their lives the way someone might document their graduation or a wedding or some touchstone moment, and then that the fun of the movie would be, and the impact would be, to take a moment like that, which was a going away party between a group of friends, and suddenly have something intrude on that, and how that would then become the sort of change and shift in the story, and what had been sort of meant to document fun would turn into documenting something important, to document an experience. And so the movie at that point shifts into high gear in that there becomes an imperative to film it, because this is something important, this is something that needs to be understood, and a document that needs to say, we went through this. That was the other fun thing about the movie, is that we were going to be doing something that hopefully for much of the film would feel like real time. And so you'd be watching scenes where people would be going through things and there'd be no reason to cut, because if you were in the middle of filming this and trying to document it and understanding it, you wouldn't be editing within the camera, you would just be taking it all in. And so the movie has these kind of long takes which take you through an experience, and it's happening in real time all around you, which is very different and exciting. And so the only jumps in time in the movie are when he does turn the camera on and off. And so the whole movie sort of starts in real time at this party, and then does these jumps forward through the party until this incident happens, and they basically are in Lower Manhattan, and then by the end of the night they have to find some way to get to Central Park. And so they take this movement that probably takes about 10 hours, and they move across the city, and you basically go through the whole journey with them. To me, the exciting thing about genre films and about giant monster movies is the idea of using the metaphor to, aside from creating an incredible ride, which I think the film is, to also find a way to approach kind of anxieties and fears of the time. And so in the same way that Godzilla was sort of a great metaphor for the time, for the atomic age, and the fears and anxieties that people feel, I think that we always felt that this film would have that similar effect on today's audience, in that it deals with the anxieties that we all have of being attacked and everything that's sort of going on at the moment, and yet enables you to approach it and, I think, get a cathartic experience and a fun ride and all of these things sort of all at once.